As the federal government continued its war on the United Blood Nation, they didn't just target the godfathers and the top-tier leaders. They also focused on the influential figures who managed the day-to-day operations, the ones who really kept the machine running. One such individual was Damien Hardy, a charismatic and feared leader of a Brooklyn-based Bloods crew known as the Cash Money Brothers. His influence was significant, and his reputation for violence was well known throughout the borough. Hardy wasn't just another crew leader, he was connected. He was known for his high-profile relationships, including being engaged to the rapper Lil' Kim. This brought him a level of public visibility that most gang leaders avoid, but it also showcased his power and status. Magu's crew was heavily involved in the drug trade, and was linked to numerous acts of violence, including several murders, as they sought to control their turf in and around the Lafayette Gardens housing project in Brooklyn. For a while his crew operated with a sense of impunity, but the NYPD and the FBI were quietly building a case. They were connecting the dots between Hardy and a string of unsolved homicides and shootings. Hardy's flashy lifestyle and public profile made him a prime target. Investigators believed he was the one calling the shots, ordering violence to eliminate rivals and enforce his crew's dominance. He was the top prize in their effort to pacify that section of Brooklyn. Eventually, the investigation culminated in Hardy's arrest on a host of federal charges, including racketeering and 6 counts of murder. Like OG Mack and Red Rum before him, he was facing the possibility of the death penalty. The federal prosecutors had him cornered, presenting him with a choice: face a potential execution or cooperate against his co-defendants and other figures in the criminal underworld. The pressure was on, and the clock was ticking. In a now familiar pattern, Damien Hardy chose to talk. The feared leader of the Cash Money Brothers, the man linked to multiple murders, decided to become a government informant to save himself from capital punishment. He reportedly began providing information on his own crew's activities. However, his case had a unique and tragic twist that complicated his cooperation. During the legal proceedings, Hardy's mental health became a central issue. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia, and his lawyers argued that he was not mentally competent to stand trial or to provide reliable testimony. This created a complex legal battle. Could a man deemed mentally ill truly provide the substantial assistance required by the government for a cooperation deal? It cast a shadow over the information he was providing. Despite the questions surrounding his mental state, the fact remains that he did attempt to cooperate with the government. He provided statements and was prepared to testify against others. This act, regardless of its ultimate legal effectiveness, still constituted a breach of the street code. In the eyes of his former associates and the wider gang community, the intent was the same. He had turned his back on his crew to save himself. The government ultimately decided not to seek the death penalty, partly due to his mental health issues. Hardy was eventually convicted and sentenced to life in prison. His attempted cooperation may not have played out in a dramatic courtroom testimony like Red Rum's, but the damage to his reputation was identical. He was branded an informant, another leader who broke the code when his life was on the line. The story of Magu adds another layer to the narrative of Fallen Bloods leaders. It introduces the complexities of mental health into the high-stakes world of federal prosecutions and cooperation deals. It demonstrates that the path to becoming an informant is not always straightforward, but the destination, a reputation for betrayal, is often the same. For the Cash Money Brothers and the Brooklyn Bloods, it was another leader who had fallen, not to a rival's bullet but to a prosecutor's deal.